pretty apparent that I'm not Gugu Zulu, and you've probably realized that this isn't Swartkoop's racetrack. In fact, it is Sepang. We are bringing you a very, very different GT laps over the next month here on Ignition, as we get to unlock some amazing race cars on this world famous F1 circuit, compliments of Michelin. First up, I'm going to squeeze into a single-seater. The Michelin Pilot Sport experience has been running for 10 years. Its objective, to give you a taste of what it's like to be a race driver. That meant passing a medical check before being fully kitted out with all the appropriate safety wear. So if you have any serious aspirations about getting into Formula 1 as a youngster, it's pretty much going to start right here in a Formula 4. Only a 1.6 litre engine which pushes out 185 brake horsepower. That works out about 131 kilowatts. It doesn't sound like much, does it? But when you consider it only weighs 460 kgs, suddenly you've got a really, really sweet power to weight ratio. Rear wheel drive, full aero package, super direct steering, and out there on the circuit we're running on full slicks. This is a proper race car, and yes, I'm gonna get to drive it. The 5.5 kilometer Sepang circuit can be split into a north and south loop. The north comprises the first 6 corners of the F1 circuit before it cuts across the pit entry and back onto the start-finish straight. My biggest challenge was fitting into the car. Single-seater cockpits are not really designed for bulky boerewors eaters. Fair to say, it was pretty snug in there. We were given 2 6-minute sessions following behind a pace car to help learn the lines and, more importantly, the braking zones. Now, I've watched so many F1 races on the circuit, so to actually be in a single-seater and arrive at pace at turn 1, well, that was just incredible. Turn 1 is such a critical corner. You really don't want to run in too hot as it compromises turn 2, and exit out of this second gear corner is critical because it's a fast climb up to turn 4. So it is flat out through the sweep, that is turn 3, working right the way through the 5-speed sequential box. Before, of course, you have to jump back on the brakes for the second gear 4th corner. Now here you can be super aggressive on the turn-in, taking curb and trying to carry as much speed on the exit as possible. Which brings you to probably the most famous corners on the circuit, the super fast and committed turns 5 and 6. And this is where the downforce really works its magic. Now, running behind the pace car meant turn 5 wasn't flat in 4th, but needed a quick lift on entry. With us having to veer off to the right on the exit of 6 to join up with the start-finish meant these corners lost some of their venom. They needed to change the pace car from a Cayman to a 911 for my second session because the Formula 4 was just way too strong through the twisties and of course under braking as well. What an unbelievable experience. I mean, to get to drive a single-seater in itself is awesome, but when you get to do it at Sepang, it just gets even better. What an incredible car to drive. Obviously 1.6 litres down the straight, we're following the pace car. It doesn't have the legs, but man, when you start turning into the corners, that aero really comes into play. Super direct steering. Because you're sitting in the position that you are, you can see the wheels, you're literally clipping apex bends, and on those slick tires, the level of grip is just immense. Oh, lap time. It was, who cares, quicker than anything around Swartkoop.